All right, business owners, it is a crazy time with the coronavirus and shutdowns and changes to how you can run your business. And I get questions every single day from clients and other business owners about the different programs that the government and the states and different companies are offering to help out small businesses. And to be honest with you, it is over my head and beyond my pay grade. I'm trying to keep up with it myself, but I want to make sure you get the best possible information. So I asked around and I was referred to Mr. Henry Aldana from Aldana and Associates. He is located outside of Washington, D.C., and I was told he's the guy to talk to about all these programs that are going on with the government. He's got the best sources, and he's been on top of this from day one, a month ago, when all this information started coming out. He's been tracking it. So, Henry, thank you so much for talking to me today and sharing with the business owners out there.
Mark, I'm excited to be here, man. I'm excited because, I mean, this has been actually crazy. A month. I knew from the beginning that this was going to be, hard. It was going to be a unique situation, and I knew it was going to be, crazy. And that's exactly what's happening. And it's been a great run for me, learning and being able to help and teach people and communicate to people what's actually happening. And the crazy thing is, every day is changing. As a matter of fact, it's changing hour by hour, everything.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
It's just nuts. And, from talking to people, they told me, like, some people mentioned how you were able to help them kind of understand what they would have to do. And that's kind of what I asked you on here to talk about today. So if you could just, catch people up on the different programs that the government is offering and what you're seeing and what you're hearing and how business owners can kind of prepare to apply for these loans, prepare to apply for these programs, and who's eligible for what, things like that.
Great. Well, let me start. There's $2 trillion for business owners. I mean, that's what it was allocated from the acts, from the CARES Act. And the first thing that they came out 3 weeks ago, it was the disaster loans, right? The family leaving, family cares. So that was one thing that they started actually giving credits, payroll tax credits, and we'll probably leave that at the end. And then they came up with the loans, disaster loans. And it's been a disaster trying to figure out really where's the money, where's the beef, right? Where's the money? And the disaster loans, you have to go through the SBA. It's an SBA application, and the beauty is that, right? It seems like everything is so easy, just apply and you're going to get millions of dollars, right? The disaster loan, actually, companies can get up to $10 million, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to anybody just go in and, hey, I want $10 million, please give it to me. But so far, I don't think anybody has gotten any funds. Everybody's waiting, like, where's the money, right? So, but this you have to prove as of March 15, you have to prove that actually you went into injury. Your business it's actually hurting, and therefore you can qualify. And the truth is, all the 50 states can qualify. I mean, all the 50 states are now in disaster, right? So all the 50 states can apply for these loans. And the beauty about this is that, the beauty is what it sounds like, right? When you apply, you can also apply for a $10,000 emergency funds that should be deposited into your bank account within 3 days. Well, that was the theory, but it's not happening that way. And not even an email saying, hey, your money's coming soon. That's what's supposed to be happening. You apply for the disaster loan, and also you have to apply for a small, quick, expedited 10K advance. And the truth is, yesterday, the SBA decided to change that, and they say, well, every business should qualify immediately. You should get $10,000 in 3 days directly deposited into your bank account. Well, yesterday the SBA said, well, since we've been getting a lot of requests, and the truth is we don't have enough funds, and what we're going to do is that we're going to give only $1,000 per employee up to 10 employees. So if you have 10 employees, you will get $10,000. If you have 100 employees, you only going to get $10,000. And if you only have one employee, you will only get $1,000. So that's how it's changing every moment. All right. So that's the disaster loan, right? The PPP, right? The Payroll Protection Plan. It's supposed to be a loan that if you use it, listen very well. If you use it for payroll to pay your employees, right? And I mean payroll because right now, even 1099 people, there's going to be a new guidelines that they might be excluded, right? So let's talk about payroll because that's what's coming out today. So if you have payroll. Let's say that you pay $100,000 per month in payroll, right? And then you have rent, you have utilities and interest on your mortgage and the business mortgage. Then if you use them for those four things, then the loan will be forgiven. It will be forgiven by the SBA. Therefore, you won't have to pay it back. Once, if you use it for the next 8 weeks, whenever, the moment they give you the money, and that we don't know when that's going to be, you have to use that money for the next 8 weeks, 2 months, right? For payroll, utilities, rent, and interest on your mortgage and your business mortgage. And that's how. However, though, you have to keep track with a special accounting report. So if you have your accountant, if you are your own bookkeeper of your business, you got to make sure that you understand how you got to keep the books in order for these loans after the 2 months or the 8 weeks pass. Then you're gonna have to go back to the bank and say, look, I use this money for payroll, I use this money for rent and whatever else that you're supposed to use it within the guidelines. And if you can show the report correctly, if your accountant has done a good job, then they will actually forgive that portion that you have used for payroll, for rent, for etc., for all these things. And then and there's a formula. So let's say that your average monthly payroll for January and February. Listen, January and February, your average monthly payroll for those 2 months is going to be taken, and that's going to be multiplied by 2.5. That means they're going to give you 2 months and a half or 10 weeks to actually spend this money. So after 10 weeks that you have spent this money, you're going to go back to the bank and say, please, please, please forgive this money, right? And I used it for payroll. And then they should be able to forgive it, and then you should be home free. The portion that you did not use for payroll, for the rent and interest and utilities, then that transforms into a 2-year loan with a very low interest. So if you don't use it for payroll, then you're gonna have to pay it back, the difference. So that's how the PPP Payroll Protection Plan works. That's what it's. This is the the 3 loans, right? One is the disaster loan. The other one is the 10K Express that it's attached to the disaster loan, and the PPP loan that is forgivable if you use it for payroll, rent, utilities, and interest. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of information you went through really quick, but very valuable stuff. And to hear just how quick everything is changing, that's ridiculous. That's why, like, I tell everybody, you can't be an expert in everything. You got to find your experts and lean on your experts. And it's obvious that you've been staying on top of this and are right on the curve when things are changing. Because I hadn't even heard the thing about 1,000 per employee yet. I hadn't heard that yet. That's a big change that I think people will be surprised to hear.
Yeah, it came out yesterday. So the first day, I think, well, actually, it was last Friday, 2 Fridays. I think I don't know the day that President Trump signed the CARES Act, but it was not until this past Friday that the act went into effect. All the banks went crazy, and they started opening, and there were only 5 the big banks. I mean, they really opened the doors for the big guys, right? I mean, the influencers, right? So just in one day, Bank of America, they submitted, their clients submitted 80,000 applications worth of $22 billion. And I'm talking about just one bank. So I'm thinking, I'm doing the simple math. They took on the first day 25%, at least 25% of the whole pie in one day. And then Monday started opening for the regional banks. And obviously, eventually, by the time there is no money, they're going to be opening for the local banks, the small banks. So this is actually, the truth is this. The banks actually, this is a business for the bank. I mean, for the banks. Although SBA is actually, I mean, the Treasury is pouring the money into the SBA, and the SBA is pouring the money to the banks. This is a business, big business for the banks. Banks are going to be taking about 5% in advance. So you do a loan. So if you do let's say, right, you do $100,000 loan and you qualify for $100,000 loan. They're going to give you, the banks are only going to give you 95,000. They're going to keep 5,000 for themselves, and that's just the business. And one thing, the banks are only taking their own clients. So if
Right.
you're not a Bank of America or the other big banks, you have to wait until your bank gets their turn. If
Yeah.
your bank hasn't started yet, you're gonna have to wait until they started. Obviously, everybody's saying we started, but really they haven't started. They haven't really. I mean, they copy the formula that Bank of America and all the big banks have, but I mean, this is the crazy time. These are bankers. These are not accountants. So they're putting this burden on the banks, on the bankers, on the tellers and loan officers to, I mean, to have a pile of 80,000 applications. I mean, they're going to go crazy. So
Yeah.
definitely you're going to need your accountant. And if your accountant, you got to ask your accountant for help. If they tell you you go to the bank, then you really have to find somebody that help you because if your accountant doesn't know and the bank doesn't know, good luck, you won't be able to get any. And you have to, the truth is this, they doing the math, simple math, right? By Friday, there's not going to be any more money. I mean, yesterday they announced they're going back for another $300 billion, right? For this help. But that's going to be gone in one day too. I
Yeah.
mean, 300 billion. I mean, just one bank killed it in one day.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, it's crazy.
And you also mentioned something about some of the states and cities that are doing aid small businesses too.
Correct. An example, I know San Francisco, Florida, I mean, just the city of San Francisco, Florida, all the state of Florida, Washington, D.C. Well, if you're in Washington, D.C., it's too late. They used the $25 million in one day, 48 hours. In Maryland, they shut down their loans also and their grants Monday. They ran out of money. Um, what other state? I don't remember I mean, I should have the list here for you, but there's about 10 states that actually have these funds for a small business. But I'm thinking by now, if they had it available, but by now, most likely the states don't have enough money.
Yeah.
Because I know they only had 25 million and 50 million. Most of them have 50 million. That's it. That 50
Yeah.
million could be gone in one day. I mean, a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So the resources that you have now is still available. It's actually going through the disaster loans. And I will advise you, Mark, and I will advise, let me turn this so there, that if you really, if your business, if you foresee that your business is going to be hurting, you got to take action this week. If you wait too long, if you wait to next week, I'm telling you, most likely the money is going to be gone. And the truth is, these banks are taking care of their big fishes, the big clients. And why? Because the big clients, they already have loans with them. And if the big clients go down, they won't get paid. So they're giving priority to their big clients that have 100, 100, 500, 1,000 employees. Although the threshold is 500 employees, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're giving all these big clients who have loans with them already, they're protecting their own clients. The truth is they're protecting themselves, because if their clients go down, they won't be able to pay them back. So
Right.
that's the truth. I mean, that's my theory. That's my opinion. And I'm really involved with the banks. I've been doing business for 26 years, and a lot of years ago, I received the award as the Advocate Accountant of the Year from the SBA at the national level, and I got the award at the White House. That was a long time ago with President Bush. So that was a long time ago. But I've been dealing with the SBA for a long time, and the government, and helping small businesses really not only survive but actually thrive. And this could be, if you see it two ways, this could be a harsh time for you, or you can find opportunities. And this is time to reinvent yourself as a business. I mean, you have to find a way after all this is over, right? After this crisis, it's done. When you go out there, the world is going to be different. The business is going to be different.
Yeah,
So you have to start thinking, what can I do different today so I can actually be ready for the new economy? Because definitely it's going to be a new economy.
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to help our clients do, is position themselves now to solve the same, like their customers have the same problems that they had before. You just got to solve them differently. And you're 100% right on that. I don't think things are going to go back to the way they were before. We still got to take our shoes off when we get on the airplanes, and banking is different than it was before the Great Recession. I think you're 100% right. Things are going to be very different after this than they were before.
Yeah, so definitely, I think that if you have a business, the truth is the virus might be gone in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. We don't know. The truth is, nobody knows what's going to happen. I mean, I don't want to get into theories right now, but but we don't know what the truth is. We don't know what's going to happen with the virus. We don't know what's going to happen with the whole health situation. But what I think that I give my 2 cents on this, on my opinion in terms of economy. The economy actually is going to be hard to recover. We are very close to a depression. Obviously, it's a big difference. The government were ready for this stuff. I mean, this is not new. I mean, I think I'm not going to get into theories, but the good thing is, there's money. They're pouring money. I don't know if all business are going to be saved, right? But there's a lot of health right now.
Yeah.
The Great Depression, they weren't ready for something like that. But now these days we're ready. I mean, the government is ready. The treasury is ready. The politicians are ready. I mean, they kind of had this plan probably 20 years ago. I don't know,
Yeah.
who knows, right? So that's the difference. That there is, at least right now, there is no economic. I mean, there is economic harsh, because I think there is about so far, about 8 million people have lost their jobs in the past 3 weeks. So,
Yeah, it's
but
crazy.
we don't know how long it's going to last. But the
Yeah.
truth is,
But what would you
you got to be
say?
prepared.
What would you say business owners should do right now to kind of prepare themselves to get their information in for their SBA loans, get them to the bank, and what kind of things should they be putting together so that they can sort of smooth the process?
Okay. First thing, they will need payroll. I mean, for all the three loans that the SBA have out there, you need to show your payroll information, right? That's the first thing. You got to be able to come up with your payroll reports, and whoever is doing, if the big companies, payroll companies are doing your payroll, that's the first thing. They're going to also ask for financial statements. They're going to be asking for personal financial statements, and a lot of people don't know what a personal financial statement is. And that's actually, it's like a balance sheet and a P&L for your personal, for your life. I mean, it's not just a P&L, profit and loss statement, and balance sheet for the business, and the cash flow statement for the business, but the personal financial statement, um, it's a combination of the P&L, it's a combination of the balance sheet, and it's a combination of the cash flow statement at the personal level. So you're going to need that. You're going to need a schedule of liabilities. You're going to need a schedule of assets. You're going to need a schedule of receivables. So to apply for these loans, for the disaster loan, you need all of that. What I just mentioned, right? Disaster loan, you're going to need payroll information. You're going to need your sales ledgers, your sales reports as of from last year and as of March 15th, right? Then you need your personal financial statements. You're going to need a schedule of liabilities, a schedule of assets and receivables. That's the basic information you're going to need to apply for the disaster loans. And for the express loans, it's good. That's a very quick, very easy. They're just going to ask you how many employees you had, how much you paid, if you're an American citizen, and where I mean, where were you born? And there's a quick, very quick. I mean, probably you can finish it in 15 minutes, right? For the PPP, they will require, first, they're going to require your payroll information for January and February, right? How much payroll you had for those 2 months. And then there's a formula. The bank is going to send you a formula, or if you're ready for it, you can have your own formula where you show, there's a formula where they have come up with how you really calculate your loan, the the the, the portion of the loan that they can give you at this moment. So um, definitely you need financial statements. You need your accounting information, and that's something that every business, if you qualify, if you're thinking about going after these loans, this help, that's something that you need to have right now. Because if the truth is, most likely you bank, if you go to your bank, nobody's going to serve you. um, but if you call your bank, most likely, I mean, the truth is, it's crazy out there because banks there. I went to the bank 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago, they had the social distancing lines to get to the bank, and I have to wait because I have to made a deposit for my mother who is actually out of the country. So I went to made a deposit, and I have to wait around the bank. That was 2 weeks ago when things weren't that bad.
Yeah.
So you know how many businesses are going right now, scared, going to the bank, calling their banks, a lot of business. So I suggest that you somehow get a hold of your bank and start right away. Because if you wait until next week, most likely there won't be any funds left. And although they're going back for 300 million, that's going to be gone in one day. So definitely you need financial statement. But the first thing you need to do is call your bank, because as I said before, this is the money that is going through the treasury is going through the SBA. The SBA is going through the banks, and the banks are going to be making the money on the commissions, right, on
Yeah.
disbursing these loans. So you need to contact your bank immediately, but you need to have the payroll information. That is the first thing that you need to have available. Your payroll report for January and February, and then you come up with the formula, the average of those 2 months, and then they multiply it by 2.5. So if let's say that your payroll is 100,000 average, then you qualify for $250,000 for the forgivable loans, for the PPP. So that's what I suggest you do. Get ready, get your stuff ready, call your account. If you already have, if you're doing your own accounting, then you should be able to pull it out of from whatever, maybe QuickBooks or whatever software you're using. But that's the first thing that you're going to need to submit to the bank or give the information to the bank. So that's the basic information you need.
Well, that's really helpful. I know that it made it a lot simpler to me, and hopefully everybody watching this, that helps them out too. Thank you so much for this, Henry. It's been great talking with you. You had an incredible amount of information that you shared. If there are people out there who are looking for help with their accounting, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
The best way actually right now is actually calling my team. We have some funnels, but right now we're getting so swamped with these funnels that I'm not even getting able to my team. And we're so busy inside that we're not even paying attention to the sales part. So the best thing actually, because we're communicating with our clients, the best way right now is actually calling me directly, and I'll give you my number, and you call me, and I promise that I will return your call.
Okay.
And I'll give you my number. It's 301 770 4901. 301 770 4901. You can call me Henry Aldana, and I promise that I will return your call. If you call me from this, I'll promise that I will take care of you, and I promise Mark that I will actually I will take care of your audience. I will advise them. I will support them. I will give them the information they need. I will educate them on this process, and that's what I promise that I'll do
Awesome.
for them.
Thank you so much.
Make sure they're taken care.
All right, so anybody out there watching this, I hope this was incredibly helpful for you. I know it was incredibly helpful for me, and I can't wait to share it with my clients. Thank you, Henry, again, for all your help here and all the information that you shared and the hard work you're putting in to help your clients and the people that contact you. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you've got questions about this whole process, or you're looking for someone to help you with your accounting, please give Henry a call. He comes with highest recommendation from everybody that I talk to, and go ahead and give them a call. I'm going to put the number in the text on here so you can give him a call if you got questions. And hopefully this helped everybody out. Thanks so much, Henry.
Hey, thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. You have a great day. Enjoy your week, and your audience, man. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Henry.